Hey, it's Erin, EW Wellness Solutions. FAQ January keeps marching on. And FAQ, how often should I weigh myself? Any thoughts? Maybe the song is going to give you a hint. It's Hunter Hayes, I Went Crazy. And after that is going to be Britney Spears, You Drive Me Crazy. And after that is Crazy in Love by Beyonce. So, driving crazy by weighing yourself all the time. It happens. Happened to me, happens to the best of us. I think at one point I probably weighed myself 6 or 7 times a day in like high school and college. I have no idea what the magic 8-ball scale was supposed to be saying, but I know I was gaining weight at that point, so it just wasn't a good correlation. There were also times where I said, I'm just going to listen to my body and just not weigh myself. And then I would gain 10 pounds. Because during that, 6-month period, I was telling myself, oh, I'm retaining water, and, the sizing changed at this store. So there's got to be something in between, right? What I found for myself is if I weigh myself twice a month, it typically keeps the crazies away. Never, during my period. Usually 2 weeks apart is good. Wednesdays typically seem to be a good day. I don't know. During the weekend, I feel like we're always a little bit heavier. I try to not eat more on the weekends, but it just seems, I don't know, a little extra somehow finds its way in. Not a huge deal. But if you weigh yourself on Saturday every time, then it'll be consistently heavier than Wednesdays, right? So as long as you're consistent, and also just be aware, you weigh what you weigh, whether or not you step on a scale. So right now I didn't weigh myself today, for example. But it isn't as if what I weigh doesn't exist because I didn't step on a scale. It's still a fact. It's not roaming around in my head all day. I used to work at Weight Watchers a long time ago, and we used to weigh people in. So we have these scales, so those of you that have not experienced the joy of Weight Watchers, and it used to just be like an open room. And you step on a scale, and there was a little number, people would like peer over, and it would say, 125.2 or whatever. Now, sometimes people will get really mad, they'd be really happy. So eventually, corporate would train us to have a blank expression. And then we would have these little drills we would practice with each other in services where we'd learn to say things like, is that the result you were expecting? And see what they would do. Because sometimes you'd get a woman who would start to cry because she was going on steroids and she'd gained a bunch of weight and it wasn't her fault. And I would hand her a box of Kleenex and tell her to talk to the meeting leader, and the meeting starts in 10 minutes. Other people would gain 7 pounds and say, yes, I gained 10 pounds last time I went on that cruise. Yay, this is awesome. And I would hand her the meeting agenda and tell her the meeting was starting in 10 minutes. Same result, different perspectives. Same thing when you weigh yourself all the time. So if you can weigh yourself and not have a huge emotional reaction to it, that's good. But be aware that the more often you weigh yourself, it typically backfires. Like I said, once a week, some people do. I found twice a month is best for me. Sometimes before vacation, after vacation. But you know what? It shouldn't be a surprise. Sort of like my daughter's report card. She's in 7th grade. She should have an idea of what she's going to get. Let's just face it. So if you go on vacation and it's just like that crazy scene in Bad Moms when they're in the supermarket, when you come back home and you've gained, like the 7-pound lady, it should not be a surprise. If you went on vacation, you ate like a normal person and you walked a lot, and you're, sum zero that should also not be a surprise. So my recommendation is find the frequency of weigh-ins that doesn't make you crazy. And if we learned anything from The Biggest Loser, besides to never let yourself get weighed on a scale the size of the Jumbotron, is sometimes weighing yourself and making a big deal about it isn't always the best thing. So our weight does fluctuate a little bit as women due to hormones, salt. That is all true stuff. But I'm talking 3 pounds, not 10. So if you're fluctuating more than 3 pounds, that's food. You're eating a lot on the weekends, starving during the week. Sorry, just telling you the truth. So if your weight is fluctuating that much during a given week, then you need to really look at how much you're eating on the weekend, because it should not be that much of a swing. A little bit of a swing, like I said, maybe your portions are a little heavier on the weekends, maybe you have a cocktail now and then, whatever you're into, but it shouldn't be free-for-all restrict. Like, those days are behind us, right? Those are so last year. That's my thoughts. If you have any questions, this is Erin, EW Wellness Solutions, and the answer to how often should I weigh myself, I recommend twice a month, because I find it makes me crazy if I do it more often, and it typically is worth it to not be obsessed with food, because the more I weighed myself, the more I thought about it. So, hope that helps. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.